Hi, Teacher Dill. How are you today?
Oh, good. Hi, Teacher Cole. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. So
Good.
I'm so excited to see you today.
Me
I,
too.
well, thank you. I know you just finished a bunch of classes, so I thought that we would introduce you to our students here at Teacher Cole's English Corner and let them know just a little bit about you. So, what do you say?
Okay, great. Sounds good.
Wonderful. So, tell me, what is your educational background or certificates?
Well, I studied in university English and psychology, and my certificates are I have a 120-hour TEFL certificate that I've taken recently.
Awesome. And you have a
Yeah,
bachelor's degree, correct?
I do. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So, why did you get into teaching and why do you love it?
I got into teaching a little bit by accident. So I had a friend actually who was moved to Korea, and she would always be calling me and say, "You should come here. It's so much fun." And I started teaching, and for the first, I'd say 6 months, as I'm sure you know, it's just a lot of planning and figuring it out. But then one day, suddenly, I'm not sure why, but it just clicked. And I was like, "Oh, I love this." The reaction of students. I mean, it can totally change your day when you have a great class. It just makes such a huge difference. So then it was sort of turning a corner, and then I just started um, planning my lessons a little bit differently and looking at myself from a student's point of view, and instead of just being the teacher, which is what I felt like I had to be, relaxing a bit and trying to understand what they needed in order to learn and thrive. Yeah, so that's why I've just kept doing it. I've taught all different ages for that same reason. There was different goals that they reach, and it's always satisfying. And little kids, if they learn the alphabet's amazing, or the sound of a letter, and then up to students that don't really like to talk because they're scared about their grammar ability, and then they just relax and start doing it. It's just always a great step to watch someone, whatever their goal is, to reach it and be part of it.
It's
That's
very
why I love it.
satisfying to help somebody reach a goal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. So, where have you taught before?
Oh yeah, sure. Like different types of schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I taught at an English academy, so sort of like a cram school you call it, or an after school, where I taught students from second grade up until eighth grade. Some few high school students at that time. I've taught that age. I did teach that age for several years, and then I became a university teacher, which I also loved for a few years, and I miss the children. So I started doing some online teaching with children as well. And now I'm all online because we are still not in the classroom because of coronavirus. So even though I was a bit shy of teaching in front of a camera, I'm used to it now and really like it. That I can teach students all over the world. It's fantastic.
It's a little bit of a different dynamic than teaching in person, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to get used to be honest. To not be just in the room and have the feeling and walking around and looking and just being close. It's hard, and it's harder to. Well, used to be harder for me to make that connection, I thought. But in fact, in a lot of ways, it's easier because many students are a lot more comfortable in that venue than in a classroom with 12 other students or
It
20 other students.
I have noticed this in my group classes that the kids tend to be a bit more relaxed and more willing to mm, go out of their comfort zone. Would you agree?
I would agree. Yeah. When they go into a breakout room and Zoom, like maybe in the big room when there's 20, you just see a lot of blinking and maybe a little nodding. But as soon as you get them into a smaller group, it's like night and day. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's why at our company here at TCEC we offer small group programs just for that reason.
Right.
It's very enjoyable to watch shy students really come out of their shell.
Yeah, and meeting different students too, that's great, right? They
Mhm.
get to meet some different people, and maybe they're shy to speak in front of those classmates, but these ones, it's a new opportunity. It's great.
It is very good. So, what would you say is your teaching style?
Um, I guess I have a feeling when I'm going into a classroom that I want to make, again, I never want to be viewed as just as the teacher. In a lot of the situations that I'm in, I'm teaching students that have not been encouraged to communicate, to participate. It's more just a lot of lecturing and students sitting. So getting students really at any age. When they're younger, it's a little bit easier, but as they get older through middle school, high school, university, just to get them comfortable and understand that it's okay if you make a mistake. So
Yes.
sometimes I act a little bit silly. That's just my personality. I never want to be fake, just acting. When someone says like you're on stage, like that's not my style. But I want to make students feel relaxed, so I just try to hopefully create that kind of atmosphere in the
Very
classroom. Yeah.
Very good. So I know that you've taught many age groups, and so have I, but we usually have one that we like the best or more than. What is your favorite age group to teach?
I thought about that a lot, but you're gonna think I'm copping out and sitting on the fence, but I honestly don't. I think sometimes that, I love this age group when I'm teaching them. Oh, they're so great because of this. But then I go and I teach a different age group, and I'm like, oh, they're so amazing. So I definitely miss the age, if I'm not teaching them, I miss the younger ages, like between 5 and, well, anywhere there between 5 and 12.
What is your goal as a teacher like right now with your students, and maybe a future goal for yourself as a teacher?
I guess my goal as a teacher, generally, very generally, just getting students to whatever their goal happens to be, whatever goal we're trying to reach, get them to do that, but in an enjoyable way. So that could be different, for each student. Some students really love to just like study a book and learn everything there is to know about that book and all the things. Other students like to, go off tangent a little bit and use that book just as a board to jump off into talking, which is sort of, where I always like to go. So whatever way we can get there is my goal, just to get them to their goal, but it's less stress as possible for them. Yeah.
And you as maybe a personal goal as a teacher?
I guess that's a very difficult question to answer. I just want to keep learning. I would have said that, like, if I hadn't been forced to teach on camera, I probably never would have done it. But having done that, I've learned so many more things. I thought, I never thought I knew everything as a teacher, but I didn't know I'd be able to just continue having experiences. So I've learned just about new technology, which is super important in today's world, in the classroom, and how with COVID, how classrooms may change in the future. So it's sort of open-ended, answer, but that's the truth. I don't have a specific goal that I'm trying to reach, but I always just want to be learning and accepting that, things change, and I'm willing to change along with them.
No, that's great, because you also pass that knowledge to your students that, yeah, even adults make mistakes and we have to continue learning as well, just like you. Learning
Right.
never stops, right?
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. So here at Teacher Cole's English Corner, we strive to ensure our students enjoy each and every class by taking them on, a learning journey of discovery. It's kind of the philosophy of the company. We
Right.
endeavor to encourage the students to dig deeper into the content by developing things like critical thinking skills, and we want to turn them into what I call information detectives. How would you facilitate this?
There are many questions there that I'm just thinking about. Yes, I want them to be interested, right? So I really like Teacher Cole's English Corner's philosophy in that way, that it's not just a cookie cutter curriculum. There's several different things that we can draw from. We're given that autonomy to say, okay, this student might be at this level, but these are all the things that we can do depending on their interest. I mean, that's also important. You're not going to have a student who enjoys the class if you're talking all about science and they have no interest in it at all. So giving them some tools so that they can do their own discovery and learn on their own and help them get there, I think is really important, as opposed to just saying, here's our book, we're going to study it, and so on. We let them move away from that if necessary and when they need to, and let them discover new things, maybe give them something new to read that they wouldn't have normally read. And we just have a lot of different ways. So I really appreciate that it's not just a one size fits all, and every teacher and student are given the same thing and to study.
Yes, that's kind of part of our, big thing about the curriculum. It's more of a springboard. We do work through a specific process, but we use it to jump onto tangents and to go into different places like a detective and find out more about something that is entertaining or exciting to that student. So, what is your personal teaching philosophy and how does it mesh? How does it work with TCEC's teaching philosophy?
I think that as teachers, we often take a role where it's like I'm the teacher, you're the student. Whereas I'd like to level that playing field a little bit and sort of hate to say something that I feel like other people have used before, but I do see it as more of like a coaching position. Like you're there to help them along, give them something to do, and then help them get there. I don't think it serves anyone very well to just stand up and talk and have students repeat, and that's all that you do. So, like you said, this sort of the springboard and the coaching and the being available for corrections or to help them along with vocabulary, whatever they need in that moment. Um, I think that's the best thing that I can do as a teacher.
And how do you think that fits in with the philosophy we just talked about?
Well, it's just I think everything that you said, it fits it gives the teacher the option to find what's important to that student and help them to discover and find new ways and be a detective and look for what they need in order to help them. It's only going to help them if they're learning a second language or a third language of a subject that they're interested in and to how to express themselves in English as well.
Great. I love to hear that. Yes, each student should be treated as an individual. Like I said, we still have the main goal of the curriculum, but we
Of
have the
course.
flexibility to add in outside sources, take that student on maybe a side journey for a while and come on back. I really love that you're able to take your philosophy and really put it into what we want to do here at Teacher Cole's English Corner. I think that's great. Well, Teacher Jill, thank you very much for joining me today and answering all my questions. I'm sure our students are going to be very interested to book your lessons.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was great.
Have a good day. I'll see you later.
Okay. You too.
Bye.
Bye.